Technology.
It's taking the over-the-air environment and making it digital.
It's a real upgrade for viewers.
So the reason why we have a new system is because everything's changing in the media landscape.
Do you watch KSAT using an antenna? If so, you're what's called an over-the-air viewer.
It's great quality. It's the best quality you can get, because it's a pure stream.
But over-the-air viewers don't have the same options as people who stream television. With streaming, you can watch what you want when you want it.
And with the old technology, the broadcasters aren't able to do any of those things.
Until now, NextGen TV will allow you to customize KSAT. Turn on your TV and you'll see what we're airing at that time. But you could also
Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Beware of ransomware. Schools in Uvalde closed for most of the week because of a cybersecurity threat. We're going to let you know what we know so far.
But first, here at 6, a discovery that was grim today at a local business. An employee was cutting the grass when he found a human skull.
This happened off of North San Jacinto, which is on the west side just east of I-10. Our crews were right there, and they tell us that they saw the remains being removed from that area.
So details about what happened, how those remains ended up there, they are limited right now. But we know San Antonio Police and the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office are looking into this.
So coming up tonight on the Night Beat, we're going to hear from the man who made that disturbing discovery. A SWAT incident over on the city's east side finally over. This is something that lasted for about 6 hours.
Bexar County Sheriff's deputies surrounded a home on Hackberry Street near Dakota Street, not too far from the Alamo Dome. So that's where deputies say they were working to arrest Manuel Sanchez.
He was wanted on 2 warrants, felon in possession of a firearm and also theft of property. And deputies took the 59-year-old into custody, saying that they found him under the house.
BCSO says he could end up facing more charges.
In other news tonight, public schools in Uvalde shut down for most of the week, and it's all because of potential cyber attacks.
So UCISD says that ransomware has been found in the district's servers, and that could impact school safety and security. We're talking about things like security cameras, their phone systems, and visitor management.
The investigation underway at UCISD raises the question, which is how vulnerable is everyone else to these ransomware attacks? Our Erica Hernandez has some answers for us tonight.
It's something that affects millions of people globally, a ransomware attack. So what is it?
It's an up-and-coming online criminal activity where basically your network and computers get infected with malware. That malware then typically encrypts your data, your programs, everything on your hard drive, and then demands a ransom.
Max Kilger, a professor and cybersecurity expert from UTSA, says that demand for a ransom is usually not a suitcase of money, but a payment in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin because it's hard to trace. If your computer gets hit, Kilgore says, there are signs like your screen freezing up, a pop-up saying your computer has been taken over, or a countdown clock appears. That is the amount of time you have to pay up. While most businesses have an IT department and cybersecurity programs in place, what about the average user who's just using their personal laptop?
You just take the usual precautions that you hear people say for organizations, which is, be aware of who's sending you emails. Do not open attachments from people you don't know. Be careful about going to websites that seem a bit shady, clicking on things that you don't know.
Now, in the last 3 months of 2024, according to Norton Ransomware Protection, ransomware attacks surged by 50%. If it does happen to you, should you pay the ransom?
The FBI strongly suggests you don't do that. You may pay the ransom and you'll never get the key that unlocks your files. And also, if you pay the ransom, often that marks you as a target. That is, oh, look, they paid once, and so you'll get hit again.
With ransomware attacks on the rise, the message is clear from experts. Stay alert, back up all your computer information, and make sure to stay safe before you click. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Whatever you're doing right now, just take a moment and a really good look on your screen. So that small picture right there, that 67-year-old Oscar Valdez Jr., there's a silver alert for him tonight. He has a cognitive impairment. He was last seen around 4 o'clock this morning on West Ellesmere Place. That's right near I-10 and Hildebrand. And we're told that he may be in a green 2009 Toyota Camry with the Texas license plate number TRC 3101. So if you've seen him today or you know where he is, call San Antonio Police.
Fiery tempers and gunfire added up to deadly trouble across San Antonio. This weekend was especially violent, with at least 10 people being shot within 48 hours. 4 of those people died. 2 of them were killed at an apartment complex on Callahan Road near the medical center. Another shooting at a parking garage downtown turned deadly for one man, while yet another man was shot dead outside of a West Side apartment on San Fernando Street. In that case, San Antonio police called in a SWAT team to try to track down the shooter. One neighbor who wanted to remain anonymous says violence has become too common.
I'm not afraid of my safety. I'm afraid for my family's safety. It's just people have to arm themselves, and it's sad.
The 6 other victims from the various shootings had to be treated at a hospital. In a statement, SAPD says the incidents this weekend were isolated and that the city remains safe.
A man is recovering tonight after a car fell on top of him. So let's tell you more about this now. It happened on Cape Valley Drive, just outside of Loop 410 near Marbach Road. That's where San Antonio firefighters say the man was working on the car from underneath. It just came off the jack. Crews say that he was trapped for about 5 minutes before they took him to the hospital. And tonight, we still don't know the full extent of his injuries.
Let's take a look at traffic out there during the 6 o'clock commute. This is the camera I-35 in Nogalitos. You can see in the northbound lanes there, those moving away from the camera and towards downtown. Stop and go as northbound I-35 usually is this time of day, but also some construction. You can see by those orange barrels off there to the side. Typical picture for 35 at 6 o'clock.
Reminder now for people who suffered losses in the Hill Country floods and also need financial help. You have until September 28th to apply. People who live in qualifying counties can submit their claims through FEMA, and we have that link for you on our website, KSAT.com.
The 12th annual Head for the Cure 5K is coming up. The event is aimed at raising awareness and money for brain cancer research. It also honors our late news director, Jim Boyle.
Race day is Saturday, September 27th, and things kick off at 8 a.m. at Providence Catholic School, just down the street from KSAT. And if you visit ksatcommunity.com, we have a link right there where you can register. This week, you also have 2 other opportunities to help people in need live more independently. This Thursday, KSAT Community is having a televised phone bank called Give the Gift of Mobility. Your donations go to Project Mend, which then buys medical mobility items like wheelchairs and walkers.
So if you have gently used medical equipment to share with someone, the second mobility collection drive of 2025 is happening on September 20th. You can drop off your items at the Wonderland of the Americas or the Shriners Auditorium. Everything donated will be carefully refurbished and sanitized before it goes to someone who really needs it. It's a simple way to make a big difference in our community.
Busy day, busy week, right? Hispanic Heritage Month starts today, and we are shining the spotlight on Chonai. The self-proclaimed Southsider is, well, very busy these days, making big moves with her stand-up comedy.
She is also focused on celebrating culture one laugh at a time, something that she says she embodies with her characters.
I think the most beautiful part of playing those characters is I feel like that part of our culture is dying. You know, we're in a very sensitive times, and that's not how we grew up. You know, we grew up very raw in your face with those tios that are going to tell you like it is, those tias, your mom's growing up. And I think that's why the audience resonates so much with those characters, because they're like, oh, you remind me of so-and-so, or you remind me of so-and-so. And so if I can keep that alive somehow, I think it's cool.
Now, Chonai has only one show planned in San Antonio this year. It is set for November 8th at the Woodlawn Theater, and she's ready to deliver for her hometown crowd. You can read more about it on our website at ksat.com.
Also on KSAT.com, we have you covered for Hispanic Heritage events happening all over town. So you see that QR code, scan it because it'll take you straight to that full list of events. The Silver and Black giving back to the Alamo City, and their new gift also comes with a story. And it's next on the News at 6.
Here's your chance to nominate your favorite educator for KSAT's Educator of the Month Award. To enter your favorite teacher or school staffer, just scan that QR code there on your screen, or you can go to our website, KSAT.com, and search Educator of the Month. It's a wonderful opportunity to shine a spotlight on the people who do so much for our students and our community. A gift from the Silver and Black. The Spurs unveiling a brand new basketball court in the heart of Hemisphere and downtown San Antonio.
That new court is dedicated to the team's first owner, Red McCombs, and his family. RJ Marquez shows us around.
Well, it's a big day for the Spurs and the McCombs family as they unveiled a brand new community court in honor of the first owner of our San Antonio Spurs, Red McCombs. So let's check out this brand new court right here at Hemisphere, right under the Tower of the Americas. You could see the red boot right there, got a cactus along with a basketball, and of course the Red McCombs logo right there mid-court as we got some of the kids that got an opportunity to check out this unveiling, this brand new court, again, right here in the heart of downtown San Antonio. This was a team effort, not only with Hemisphere, but also Spurs Give. That is the charitable arm of Spurs Sports and Entertainment. Also, the McCombs Family Foundation, all of them coming together to put this court together. And we also got a special treat. We got to hear from two Spurs legends, including George Gervin and David Robinson. Let's hear from George Gervin, the Iceman. Also, we did a quick interview with Spurs Chairman Peter J. Holt about the importance of this brand new court.
To have this community court named and him and Charlene's name to something special to them. Red was my friend, so to be able to honor him, you know, still, and this court is in the heart of San Antonio. That's where it's supposed to be.
The McCombs family and the Spurs drove this really impressive addition to Hemisphere Park, where literally everybody from the city and from outside the city come. And now they can play basketball and have joy and fun in a safe, accessible way.
The big thing is that this court is publicly accessible, the first one that is here at Hemisphere. Again, the heart of San Antonio, as downtown San Antonio, if you will, right under the shadow of the Tower of the Americas. So anyone can come enjoy this brand new court. It is a step here as they continue the Tower Park renovations and also the brand new design out here at Hemisphere. So make sure you come out, enjoy it. It is covered as well, so that'll keep you protected from the sun. Also, reporting from Hemisphere, Arjun Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Very cool. I also noticed that that court is surrounded by a lot of greenery, which is super nice. Obviously, you need a lot of rain to maintain that. Right now, you're looking outside, 85 degrees out there. Skies look nice and clear, but some areas did get a little bit of rain, right, Adam, earlier today?
A little bit, especially China Grove. That was really the sweet spot in Bexar County with about a half an inch of rain. Now, you look at the radar over the past 3 hours, and you see most of it was closer to the Gulf Coast and along the coastal plain, but then an outflow boundary moved through Bexar County and San Antonio and did kickstart a few of these downpours that you see here just outside of Lavernia, near China Grove, between China Grove and Calaveras Lake, and then one popped up on the far north side near 1604, just outside on the other side of 281 from Hollywood Park. You look at the current situation, and we're pretty much high and dry. This activity has come to an end. One little shower left over between Pearsall and Dilley, just west of I-35, but that's about it. And this was our 10% chance opportunity today. It has come and gone, but look what it left in its wake. So let's go from here. Just outside of Lavernia, just north of Lavernia, we have about 0.3 of an inch. Kycaster, just outside of Kycaster, 0.4 of an inch, and you get into China Grove. Look at that, a half inch of rain right along Highway 87 there. So, hey, some folks had a decent little splash. It was quick and isolated, and as you can see here, most of it concentrated closer to the Gulf Coast, as is common this time of year in these types of weather patterns. Now, speaking of weather pattern, it's going to be shifting a little bit. Upper level high, big blue H right here, basically over far west Texas and northern Mexico. The key is this is going to be drifting westward a little bit, and that's going to open the door for some upper level energy and disturbances to be steered in our direction, because the overall steering flow up above us will be coming in from the northwest and probably have a little bit of energy within there to combine with some instability and a little bit of moisture to give us a glimmer of hope for some showers. Now, most of the action is going to be north of Texas from Kansas all the way into Missouri and the Dakotas. But even around here, we could at least get in on a little bit of rainfall activity basically daily, Friday through the weekend, and even this time next week. I mean, we're only looking at a 20 to 30% chance, but at least it's a little shift in our weather pattern, and it's not just the upper level high sitting overhead giving us nothing but sunshine. We could have a few showers, kind of like what we had today. Now, here's a look at the tropics. 90% chance of development. This area of disturbed weather, cluster of storms way out in the Atlantic. It's going to be headed to the northwest. Likelihood of becoming the next tropical depression, tropical storm, possibly even hurricane. And then in the Pacific, 70% chance of new development. This is just southwest of Mexico. And then we also have tropical storm Mario still out there just outside of Cabo San Lucas, and that's going to stay out to sea as it weakens in the coming days. But no indications that any leftover moisture or rain-making energy could move our way from any of those systems. Today, 92, the high temperature, so that's 2 degrees above average. The record, 98, set back in 1953. Right now, we're at 85 degrees. By 10 o'clock, we're at 82. Midnight will be 78. And then tomorrow morning at sunrise, about 73 in San Antonio. Get in outlying areas. Rio Medina, 71. Bulverde, 69. Comfort at 66 in the morning and 71 to start the day in Floresville. But by noon, 85, and then really more of the same tomorrow, 92 for the high temperature and a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. We shouldn't have the same kind of instability to kickstart some of those 10% chance of the 10% showers. If we see anything, it'd probably be closer to the Gulf Coast next few days. Tomorrow afternoon, Pleasanton 94, Kerrville at 90, and then it's basically just a repetitive pattern. Low 70s in the mornings, low 90s in the afternoons, mixture of sun and clouds. That'll be the case through Thursday and then Friday into the weekend and early next week. That's when we have that slight chance of rain. Got any plans this Saturday?
No, not yet.
Oh, well, there you go, because we have something cooking, literally and figuratively. The second annual Texas Eats Food Festival, Saturday, this coming Saturday. Get your tickets now. One fee, and you're in, and you eat a bunch of good food from Michelin restaurants and James Beard Award-winning chefs, and it's indoors at the Tech Center at Boeing Tech Center? Boeing
Boeing
Techport Center.
Yeah.
Whatever. Those words go in some order, but it's going to be rowdy.
Thanks, Adam. All right, Larry, our game of the week features defending state champs.
Yes, Smith Valley Rangers at the Bernie Champion Chargers. I've been watching this game for a handful of weeks, hoping the schedules and the results would line up. It certainly did, so that's why they are our game of the week. And it's also week 4, meaning we have a brand new 12's Top 12. We got it after the break. Our game of the week this Friday night will see the 2-1 Smithson Valley Rangers at the 2-1 Bernie champion Chargers, and it's a District 13 5A D1 opener for both. Let's start with the defending state champs from Spring Branch. The Rangers beat Roosevelt in week 1, 62-6. They lost to Brendan in week 2, 30-21, and they bounced back last week, beating Madison 42-10. It's the start of district play, but just another game for the Rangers.
We're excited to start district play. Played a lot of good teams like Brennan, Madison, Roosevelt. Those are all some solid programs. We're excited to get started against Bernie champion.
It's just another game to us. We're just going to practice the same way we do every week. Really, the biggest thing is we just have to be ready for these upcoming next 8 games. With this, we have a very tough district, and so that's kind of we just have to really make sure that we're locked in this week and every week, because we're not going to make any opponent bigger than they are.
I mean, we're treating it like any other game. Obviously, just preparing like every other time. Like we got Monday practice this week or today, but yeah, it's really the same as every other game that we got.
Photog Mark got the Bernie champion around 6 this morning to catch up with the Chargers before the sun came up. Bernie champion is 2-1. They opened the season with a 58-10 win at United South, a 48-21 victory at Medina Valley, and last week they lost at home 35-28 to Laredo Alexander. Up next, the Rangers.
Yes, sir, absolutely. We like the challenge, so it's be good.
Just can you expand on that a little bit?
Yes, sir. They're a great team, coming off state championship, but we're tough, we're accountable, so we're gonna come out and give them a fight.
Great team. Obviously, Coach Atkins used to be here last year. We're blessed for the opportunity to come out and play a former state champion and the former runner-ups. I mean, it's a great opportunity for us, and it's a blessing to be in the district with them.
I mean, yeah, I believe they're a good team. So, but it's gonna be they're gonna get our best game. We're gonna get their best game, and we're gonna be good.
Smithson Valley at Bernie champion is our game of the week, Friday night at 7. All right, checking out the BGC road trip for this week. It kicks off in Charlotte before going to Pleasanton, and the road trip will end the night in Poteet. It's time for a brand new 12's Top 12 entering week 4. Let's see who made the cut, and yes, John Jay did again in Class 6A, coming in at number 12, and new this week is Lee at 2-1. East Central's down to 11 at 1-2. Churchill's number 10 with the same record. Canyon is 9 at 1-2. Clemens is up to number 8 at 2-1. Taft is up 1 spot to 7. Brandeis is number 6, coming off their first loss of the season. Then you have all the unbeatens. Clark is 5, Johnson is 4, Harlan is 3, Brendan 2. Brendan and Harlan are getting ready to play this Saturday, and the Steel Knights are still number 1 at 3-0. In Class 5A, Tivy is number 12. Southwest Legacy is number 11. South San is 10 at 2-1. Lanier is number 9 at 2-1. Bernie Champion is 2-1, and they are number 8. John Jay is number 7 at 3-0. Undefeated Southwest is number 6. Piper is down to 5. I'm telling you what, their schedule, though, has been brutal. Bernie comes in at number 4 at 2-1. Smithson Valley is number 3 at 2-1. Alamo Heights is number 2 at 3-0. And New Braunfels is still number 1 in Class 5A. And in Class Sub 5A for Week 4, Comfort is brand new this week at number 12. They are undefeated at 3-0. Nixon Smiley is also new this week. They're number 11. They're undefeated at 3-0. Bandera is up to number 10. Somerset is number 9. Jordanton at number 8. Canyon Lake is still number 7. Antonian is 6. Poth is hanging tough at number 5. They're 2-1. Marion is 4. Hondo is 3 at 3-0. Lavernia is still number 2. And Davenport remains number 1 in Class Sub 5A football.
How's it week 4 already?
I know, right?
It's possible.
It just flies by.
Yeah, rolling on. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. KSAT Explains is coming up next.
You've been hearing about it a lot, right? This is one of the up-and-coming parts of the city. Port San Antonio has evolved so much over the years.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Texas Eats Food Festival happening there on Saturday. So the name Port suggests a hub, which is still partly true. But in this KSAT Explains, we show you how Port SA is changing.
There's a misconception that this is some sort of strange, off-the-grid federal enclave.
Port San Antonio on the city's southwest side shares a runway with Lackland Air Force Base. Laced in between modern buildings are old military barracks, airplane hangars, and brick roads, all a reminder of what once was.
San Antonio is the nexus of everything that the Air Force became.
In March of 1910, the military's first aircraft took its maiden flight at Fort Sam Houston.
Benjamin Falloy basically taught himself to fly using instructions he got from the mail.
Falloy, a U.S. Army general, began teaching others about these new inventions. There were multiple successful flights, but one went terribly wrong. Pilot George M. Kelly, after whom Kelly Air Force Base was named, crashed and died trying to avoid encampment areas on Fort Sam.
They said, no more flying here. This is not really, the base isn't set up for that.
So General Falloy eventually moved his flights to a plot of land on the southwest side.
Kelly was the first Air Force base. It was established in November of 1916.
The base evolved into the nation's largest hub for maintenance, repair, and overhaul. By the 1990s, Kelly Air Force Base was the largest employer in San Antonio.
At one point, there was about 28,000 civil servants and contractors and working there.
But virtually overnight, those workers found their paychecks coming from Boeing and Knight Aerospace, not the Air Force. In 1995, the Department of Defense announced a base realignment and closure, or BRAC. The DoD stopped operating the base 6 years later.
Some really forward-looking people said, let's not close it, let's just change the way that we think of it.
The Greater Kelly Development Corporation took charge of the land, renaming it Kelly USA. The new mission was to operate as a landlord while keeping San Antonio's highly trained military workforce. It became an inland port, which still exists in a small way today.
There is the ability to do rail logistics. There is a little bit of air cargo that flies in and out of here on a daily basis.
In 2007, the name was changed to Port San Antonio to reflect that process. But in 2018, new leadership had a new vision. The mission of Port SA became more about transporting ideas than cargo.
We are the center of gravity for cybersecurity, information technology, and aviation, as well as critical infrastructure, not just in San Antonio, but quite possibly in Texas.
So Port San Antonio kept its role as a landlord, but its tenants became more tech-focused. Port SA operates as a political subdivision of the state and is publicly owned, but they don't get tax dollars.
What we do is we borrow against the assets that we own. We make our money through operations, profit and loss, through services that we sell.
Today, 80 different companies and 16,000 employees are located on the campus, both in the public and private sector. According to the state comptroller's office, the port generated $5.6 billion in 2018. Boeing was the first private company to plant roots at Port SA in the late 90s.
Currently, we have 7 programs on site.
Today, this is Boeing's largest operation on the planet.
It's a combination of having access to the facilities we need, the runway we need, but it's really about being tied in with the community. This is the largest freestanding hangar in the world. We have about 1.6 million square feet on this site. We have access to a 12,000-foot runway, so we can fly in any aircraft.
Today, as opposed to 100 years ago, those airplanes are really big flying computers. And so what used to be about purely engine blades and rotors now requires microchips and computer processors and big data.
Much of that new technology is being developed at Port San Antonio through companies like Standard Aero and Chromalloy. But it's not just aerospace.
It's a natural place where we can bounce ideas off of each other.
Plus One Robotics is one of the newest companies on the campus, a local startup focused on making loading and unloading trucks easier. They build robots that can do that job, all monitored by humans via the internet.
So we are the blend of cybersecurity and logistics, and that's the exact same mix of people that are here.
The need for cybersecurity expertise can be found just down the road from Plus One, with over a dozen cybersecurity companies on the campus.
There was this nexus of technology and logistics, but also the ability to grow as quickly as we wanted to.
That interconnection is a big goal for Port SA, not just for the here and now, but also for a new generation of tech talent. The TechPort Center houses the San Antonio Museum of Science and Technology. There's also the WEX Foundation, a space exploration program that involves local middle schoolers.
We've had kids, and we take no credit for their brains, come in and go on to MIT, go on to A&M, go on to Alamo Colleges, go on to Palo Alto. And that's what it's about.
One idea that came out of these student-based programs, lunar habitats, pods that are made up of ground-up moon rock, then 3D printed into livable structures on the moon's surface. And that idea is no longer just a theory. It's being brought to life by a San Antonio company called Astroport, which has a partnership with NASA. There are also plans to build a biodome here, a space where researchers can experiment with environments like the moon's surface, and a vertiport.
It's going to be a first of its kind vertiport. So vertiport is a new airport, currently doesn't exist, to support electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft.
Propelling a long history of flight into the future.
And don't forget, you can watch all of our episodes of KSAT Explains on a wide range of topics, all for free. Scan the QR code there on your screen. That will take you to our streaming library. We're back right after this. Reprehensible and inappropriate or vile content. Those are some of the words that Texas Education Commissioner Mike Morath used in a letter to superintendents last week.
That's where he said that the TEA would be investigating educators who made such social media posts about the assassination of conservative political activist Charlie Kirk. But one of the state's largest teachers unions is now calling it a political witch hunt.
As online posts and opinions pile up in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, the Texas Education Commissioner told superintendents the TEA would investigate some educators' posts for possible sanctions.
Anybody should be held responsible if they cross a line, but what is that line? Where is that line? How have we clarified that line?
Zeph Capo, president of the Texas American Federation of Teachers, says that despite his letter, Education Commissioner Mike Morath hasn't provided clarity on how he's defining examples. Morath wrote in his letter that freedom of speech does not give, quote, carte blanche authority to celebrate or sow violence against people with different beliefs.
The ones that I've seen so far myself have not, in my opinion, risen to that level. I'm not saying that they're not out there, because we certainly do not condone violence against anyone, period.
Capo says one of his union members from Goose Creek ISD, whom conservative state representative Briscoe Cain highlighted online, faces being fired. According to screenshots on Cain's page, the teacher had questioned whether Kirk had, quote, baited one too many people, and then asked, quote, could this have been the consequences of his actions catching up with him? In another post, she appeared to say, quote, karma is an expletive. Capo later said that karma comment may have crossed a line if it happened after the shooting, but he couldn't tell because there was no date. Jourdanton ISD has said a teacher's recent social media post about Kirk's death, quote, does not reflect the values, mission, or expectations of Jourdanton ISD, but did not say who the teacher was or what the post entailed. Capo questioned why the TEA is taking this stance on one assassination, but not, for example, comments over the shootings of Minnesota lawmakers. He thinks this is more about politicians trying to ride a political wave.
That is why we think that these things are a witch hunt and coming down from the top, rather than allowing them to come up from our local communities and do the job that they have always done, at least for the last several decades that I'm aware of.
The TEA told us via email that it has received 180 complaints so far, and include a statement from Morath saying in part, quote, while all educators are held to a high standard of professionalism, there is a difference between comments made in poor taste and those that call for and incite further violence, the latter of which is clearly unacceptable. Morath said he'll recommend such teachers have their certification suspended, which means they wouldn't be able to teach in Texas public schools. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take another look outside with live cam. A lucky few saw some rain this afternoon, but that's gone. And it's sunshine before the sun sets.
Okay, but we're just starting the week, so our Adam Caskey is going to come back right after the break to walk us through the rest of the forecast and what's ahead for this weekend. We'll be right back.
think we can take a moment to say a quick thanks for folks who are watching via stream only right now, right? We got Monday Night Football on KSAT, but here we are, all together on the stream.
The beauty of it is you can have the football on your big TV and then us on your phone and on your TV in your pocket, aka phone.
There you go.
Right? It's really just a TV in your pocket, or vice versa. You know, you can do either.
We're all about multitasking.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's how people do it these days, right? All right, so let's take a look at our rainfall today, and it was mainly closer to the Gulf coastline. Parts of DeWitt County, Victoria, Goliad. That's where we saw some of the shower activity closer to the Gulf Coast, as is often the case in these scenarios, and a little bit around Gonzales County. Wilson County had a little bit along with Atascosa, and then within 1604, it was the far east side where China Grove picked up about a half an inch. That's where you have this green color. That indicates a half an inch estimated by Doppler radar. So, hey, not bad for a quick splash and dash shower out there. We'll take whatever we can get. Overall weather pattern, upper level high, big blue H, still influencing us. It's just not directly overhead. It's parked over far west Texas and northern Mexico. The key is this is going to drift a little bit westward. That's going to open the door for any potential disturbances to move overhead that could help make rain, some rain-making energy. And there are some indications that we could get that because of this northwesterly steering flow aloft. We get little bits of leftover upper-level energy that can then slide overhead. Also, the West Texas wild card is what we're going to have to watch Friday through the weekend. Remember, that's when clusters of storms develop in West Texas, organize, and then we can get the remnants of them sometimes at night or early morning. Rain chances, though, we're talking 20 to 30% chance, and that's from Friday through the weekend and even into this time next week. There may be moments where at some point during those days or nights where they jump a little bit more, so check back in for updates. As for the tropics, we have passed the peak of hurricane season in the Atlantic. That is September 10th. We're 5 days past that. Typically, we'd have a little more activity out there right now, but it is fairly quiet. There is one area that we're watching closely. It's basically a cluster of thunderstorms right now, way out in the Atlantic, with a 90% chance of turning into the next tropical depression, tropical storm, and maybe hurricane as it heads northwest, somewhere between the Caribbean and Bermuda over the next 5 to 7 days. Something we'll watch, but typically this time of year, the tropical systems get swept up in the upper level winds, and they kind of arc around the East Coast and parallel the coastline. In the Pacific, south of Mexico, 70% chance of new development, but we also have Tropical Storm Mario. This is just southwest of Cabo San Lucas. It's going to weaken gradually over the next few days and just kind of dissipate and disappear out over the open ocean. We're not going to tap into any leftover rainfall, unfortunately. Look at the high temperatures today. 88 Amarillo, 88 Lubbock, Marfa at 84, 92 here in San Antonio. Texarkana at 98, and that was the hot spot. It's nice not seeing triple digits on the map. We're starting to get away from that, and typically this time of year we do. The average last triple-digit day is August 26th, and I do honestly think the 100-degree days are in our rearview mirror. Now, you look at the average high temperature for throughout the year, and you see we peak at 97 degrees, the warmest afternoon average high, and that's in August. We're here now, mid-September, and by this time next month, the average high is near 80 degrees. So the changes, right? So starting to see the subtle little shifts going. Now, the number of 100-degree days, we've had 20 this year. Again, I think that's going to be it. Last year we had 27. 2023 we had 75. Even 2022 we had 58. So not bad over the past handful of years, all things considered and compared. Right now we're at 85. A dew point is 67, so a little bit humid, and that east-southeasterly wind at 16 miles per hour. Bit of a breeze out there this evening. We'll have the same breeze again tomorrow. Hondo and Sabinal now at 91. Gonzales 87 along with Canyon Lake. 88 Converse, Bulverde, and San Antonio International both at 85. 73 in the morning tomorrow. 85 at noon, 92 the high temperature, and I think the sky is going to look a lot like today. Just a mixture of sun and clouds, southeasterly wind at 10 miles per hour, some noticeable humidity in the air for most of the day. Canyon Lake tomorrow 93, Comfort at 90, Uvalde 93, and Floresville topping out at 94. Another week where we don't have much variation in temperatures. Yeah, a degree here or there, it'll change. That's about it. Low 70s in the mornings, lower 90s in the afternoons. We just have to, keep updated on those rain chances that come to the picture. They're slight, but again, some time frames could see a little bump in odds. So check back in for updates on that. As for this coming weekend. Oh,
tell us, Adam.
Come get you some is all I have to say. Wear your elastic pants. It's going to be rowdy. The second annual Texas Eats Food Fest. You've seen David Elder on GMSA at 9 and other programs showing off some of the food that they're going to show, Kate. Michelin-rated restaurants, James Beard award-winning chefs from across the state. Key is one fee and you're in. And then you just have to pay for the drinks. This is a 21-plus event, by the way. And it's Saturday. Get your tickets at Boeing Techport Center.
There we go.
Near Lackland.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
And we'll be right back after this. So here's a look at what's coming up on ABC Primetime right now. Monday Night Football, obviously that's happening now. The Buccaneers facing off against the Texans. And then after that game, you could watch High Potential over on KSAT 12, and then that is followed by the Night Beat at 10 o'clock. Welcome back to all of you watching us right now on KSAT Plus. Thank you so much for that. The reason that we're here is because the Texans are playing the Buccaneers on KSAT 12.
Yeah, they kicked us off.
Yeah.
And then they kicked off. So So let's go to Larry. He is standing by in the newsroom to talk about another streaming show that's going to start at 7. KSAT Sports Now, Larry.
KSAT Sports Now. Yeah, so if you're not watching that game, we're happy you are watching us, but the Buccaneers are leading the Texans 14-10 in the second quarter. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants game yesterday. What a contest that went to overtime. Kicker Brandon Aubrey for the Dallas Cowboys made a 64-yarder at the end of regulation to force OT, and then he made a 46-yarder in OT to send the Cowboys to victory, their first of the season. KSAT 12 Sports' Mary Rominger was there, and she's going to have more on that exciting contest. We're also talking about big game coverage. Week 3 is now in the books, so we have the best of BGC Week 3. We got best run, best catch, best play, and I also believe best fans, right, Mary? Best fans. So we're going to look ahead as well. We're talking Week 4, brand new 12's top 12 in Class 6A, 5A, and sub 5A. Plus, we're also going to recap UTSA, UIW college football, the hometown showdown. KSAT Sports Now coming up at the top of the hour on KSAT Plus at 7 o'clock.
That is all our time for